Hello, you're watching the Black Comics Universe. I'm Imani Sits, the creator of Peep Game Comics. Black Comics Universe is presented by Peep Game Comics exclusively here on The Experience. Please help us out by hitting share and giving us a like and follow. Then make sure to tune in for our original programming 7 days a week. The Black Comics Universe streams every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on all DSPs. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And today I am joined by Mr. Lonzo Star of the creative mind behind Concrete Comix.
Yo. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? And the home of the Acolyte. And as always, I always like to start with a little intro. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company and about your books?
So my name is Lonzo Star. I'm the CEO and founder of Concrete Comix. Also, I'm the creative director, and I am the writer and creator of The Legend of Acolyte. I got the books right here. If y'all ain't see that before, The Legend of Acolyte is basically Superman meets Dragon Ball Z meets Luke Cage. You know what I mean? Mixed with a little bit of Valerian and Star Wars up in there. So. I mean, if you're into sci-fi, Superman, Dragon Ball, good fighting, good story, you'll love that story.
Okay, cool. And that's not the only title you have. You have about I think it's 4 titles.
So we got Acolyte, we got Absolver, we got Odina, we got Andy Starboy, The Watchmen, Decimation Earth right now, and we got 2 new ones dropping next month. So
how long have you been publishing?
We turned 2 years old in February.
Now in indie time, you're probably publishing at like a breakneck speed right now. It's like that's more than 2 books a year almost, right?
Yeah, well, we're set up kind of how Todd McFarlane and Image Comics is. So we're all independent creators underneath one umbrella. So we kind of work together in a coordinated strategy. You know what I'm saying? So it it helps us to move and bounce off of each other's schedule to keep our fans getting continuous material.
Okay, I see. So how many other creators are involved?
You got me, you got Anaji Rouse, you got Jamil Lessie, you got Lyle Ringgold, David Rucker, you got Daniel DiCalvo, we got Jason Primos. So it's a lot of us coming up, and it's a couple people that are in the process of possibly joining. So yeah.
And this all out of the same area? Or you guys all met online?
We all met on this wonderful place called Facebook, man. I met Jamil first. We were in a similar group. He was starting off at the same time with his Absolver title, and then he introduced me to Onaji, and then that was kind of the 3 that we kind of started with. And then after we started putting out our books, a lot of people started reaching out to us to be published. So that's just how I met Daniel DiCalvo and Lyle Ringgold and Dave Rucker, people like that. So it kind of all started like a big domino effect, once we started putting stuff out in a professional manner, people wanted that look, so.
No, that's awesome, because that's something you don't see very often, only because everybody, a lot of indies is you see like you've been in this long enough to see like how these things go in cycles. So like the conversation of, why don't we all get together and do X, Y, and Z? It pops up every 2 to 3 years. You know what I'm saying? That conversation and all these like different Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But rarely do people actually, make it happen. Come together. And what obstacles did you have to overcome to make the whole concept work?
So I think that that's what really brings us together. We all come from a place of getting rejected knowledge, so we decided to do it ourselves. Me in particular, I I started writing this comic book after I had first seen my first indie comic that I didn't even know existed. I mean,
Mm,
it was kind of my bridge into understanding that there was comics outside of the big two or the Boom Studios and people like that. So my first time seeing an indie comic is what blew my mind and inspired me to fall back into my dreams as a child to write my own stories.
mm,
So that's kind of how I dove into it. But when I was searching for information on how to do it, I was getting a lot of cold shoulders. A lot of people weren't really looking to help or willing to help. I'm saying
mm.
a few people did reach out and give me some good guidance, but for the most part, it was really just me having to watch other people out there and mimic what they were doing and then create it in my own style. And I think that's what really connects the whole concrete universes. We all come from similar upbringings in the comic book world.
Now, would you consider yourself to be self-taught in that self-taught in comics?
As far as what, like, as far as producing the comic?
Yeah, as far as producing it, writing it,
Well,
the whole night. Do you feel like you've um would you consider yourself to be, self-taught? And I only say that because, like, for instance, that's my experience to a large degree with anything with art has been self-taught. Like I'm a graphic designer. I'm mostly self-taught in that. I've always been a comic book fan, but most of what I've learned, as far as the industry, as far as producing comics, has been sort of self-taught.
mhm.
Um, do you feel like it's, like your learning curve has been similar?
Yeah, I tell people, I'm learning every day, new writing techniques that I learn a lot more from when I read comics now. I'm kind of studying more so than just looking for entertainment aspect of it. But
Mm-hmm.
when I first when I first discovered indie comics, well, how I got into indie comics was I ran across a comic called Dark Eagle by Miles Salas, and he had like an animation. So
Mm,
I had contacted him because I was inspired by the animation and it didn't have a theme song, so I wanted to produce a theme song for it. So
okay.
um, when I made the production and the beat, he sent me the script to read so I can know the character that I was rapping about. And
Mm,
that was the first time I seen a comic script, and that's when I realized how similar a comic script was to writing a song as far as the structure of a song in a comic book goes. So that was like the fire that matched that like sparked that made me want to write comics. So
mm.
the structure wasn't hard. What I learned is how to tell a compelling story was what I needed to know. Because I can tell anything about just a guy punching a guy in the face, but how do I make people care about the character? That's what I really need to learn, and that's what I'm still learning as I write. But that was kind of the main focus, is really understanding how to make people fall in love with this character and not just think it's something cool to look at.
Okay, I like that. So when we're talking about Acolyte, was it what is it about that character that you want people to take home? Like, what is it about that character you want people to care about?
Well, he's the embodiment of me first and foremost. I kind of made him after me because when I was younger, I used to be a good cartoonist when I was younger. I could draw like really good cartoons, style like art. But every time I would draw Superman or Wolverine or anything like that, I always made them look like me. Like they were
Hmm.
always black, or who any character I drew, they were always going to be black or look like me. So when I made him, I was like, man, I might as well start with myself and do what I would do if I was a superhero. So basically, that's what Acolyte is. He is me if I was a superhero, and
Mm.
I love the stars. I love cosmic adventures. I love Superman. I love Dragon Ball. I love all that stuff. I love Star Wars. So I try to throw all of that in there with inspirations of my upbringings, with having a strong father figure in my life, my mom and
Mm.
dad, having a strong brother. I got him in the comic book as a villain. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just took every piece of my life and turned it into my comic book and made and so my friends from back home and people that really know me, when they read the comic, they're like, yo, he would really say that, or that looks like your brother and that's what he would do, or you know what I mean? So
Mm.
this is why this title is real important to me, because it's like it's really an aspect of my life. And when I realized with the other characters that I'm writing and bringing out, they all share a piece of me that I wanted to explore in the adventure world. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Now, like on that, so we were talking about earlier before we came on. We were in the green room, quote unquote. We were talking about how you're talking about the indie community, the Black indie community.
yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the Black indie community? Do you see yourself as a vet? Do you see yourself as sort of like you still a rookie? You see, like, where do you place yourself in the scheme of things,
See, is
or does it none, or does none of that matter?
I don't really look at it like that, because there's people that are veterans that have been working on one book maybe for like 10 years. And then there's people that have just came in a game and maybe got a bunch of titles. So
Mhm.
looking at the person with the bunch of titles, you would think he's the veteran, when the person that been in the game for the longest is really the veteran. It's just so I guess it's just about perspective, and being a veteran and being a rookie doesn't dictate your knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
to me, I don't really look at myself as a vet or anything like that. I still look at myself as a rookie because I'm new, I'm learning. There's so many people that have been here way longer than me, but
Hmm.
other people that approach me do see me as a vet because they're following from the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
No,
yeah,
that's one of the when I started my company about it's going on 7 years ago. Uh, it was hard to gauge because yeah, I run across people that have been in it for a very long time,
mm,
as far as years, but at the same time, it was a it always boiled down to how much they produced. You know, there's some artists that have been in there for a very long time and only have one book.
right,
There's some creators out here that are um, fresh out. You know, may only have one book, but they had a huge Kickstarter. For that title, and there's still buzz around some of the work they created. So it is hard to gauge um, where do you see the overall scene is at right now. We were talking about um, how the scene has grown since Black Panther and
yeah.
milestones like that. Where do you see the indie community now compared to when you started 2 years ago?
2 years ago, not that there wasn't this much produced work out. I say
Mhm.
that. Um, I say like during that course of time, I think everybody was really honing their craft and understanding how to produce it, because people were producing, but they didn't know. A lot of people still didn't know about self-publishing, so they were looking for publishers and looking on how
Mhm.
to do it. And so I think that's what was holding a lot of people back when they realized that they could just do it themselves and put it out. I think
Mhm.
that's why the surge had blew up the way it is. And with platforms like Peep Game Comics, that makes it very possible for somebody that's just independent, that doesn't have the publishing resources to get their name out there through a company such as yours. So
Right.
I think that's dope. I think we were in the Renaissance period at that time. I think right now we're still in a renaissance of Black indie comics, but I think we're right before the saturation period,
Mhm.
and before the big companies come in and snatch us up, because right now that's what they're doing already. They're snatching up all the top dogs, the people that are making a lot of noise on Kickstarters and stuff like that. So pretty soon, I believe it's going to be so much that the people that were grinding the hardest in the beginning are the ones that's going to be really standing kind of tall, and everybody else is going to be kind of climbing to get there. So I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
period we're in now. So for
Yes.
anybody that's listening as a creator right now, you got to go hard, man, because everybody's going hard, and soon you're going to be looking up at the people that were grinding like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep. I can name 5 people that were on Peep Game Comics that typically what happens is I get them when they're first, starting out or when it's sort of fairly new.
Hmm.
And, within 5 years, something happens. Like for the most successful ones, it's like they have to leave the platform because they about to sign a big deal. Um, this is all within the last, 5 or 6 years. So we're
Yep.
talking about Warrior and Coupe with his deal with Dark Horse. We're talking about Tim Fielder with his
Hmm.
book Infinitum, which I got over my shoulder here. Um,
Oh, okay, okay, I see it.
we got um, there's so many creators that I got the chance to meet personally as independents who are now we're able to level up based off of the work ethic and the time they put in over the last 6 to 7 years. And so we're starting to see Greg made an announcement. Greg Elise made an announcement a few days ago. We had so many other you got so many independent creators that are leveling up. They still consider
Yeah,
themselves to be independent, but um, you got people optioning, their creative work, for film and stuff like that. So it is, you're definitely right. It's definitely, um, there's definitely going to be a change happening pretty soon. Like,
yeah,
I'm just seeing, it's interesting to see like so many independent creators getting sort of like pushed out of the indie community. And then sort of now you got, these really, um, young, upstarts like yourself and others that are, they're looking to make a names for themselves and sort of fill that community back up.
yeah, man. That's the good thing about the community, and it's the bad thing about the community is that you got to work hard because
Hmm.
your fans aren't gonna. It's not like we're Marvel and DC that got 100 years literally in the game where they got books where people can go back 50 years and read a whole arc of like 50 books and then they can keep working and grinding. A lot of us
Hmm.
don't have that much material to keep somebody around for that long. So it's good that we have a strong indie community, and that's why quality got to be at an all-time high because we all share the algorithm. We're all one marketplace, and that's how we got to kind of look at it. Not really look at it as competition because we all got different stories, different characters, man. It's really no competition. It's just finding your niche and finding the people that love and need what you make, and just focus on that, man. A lot of people focus too much on trying to um trying to impress the other creators or trying to
Hmm.
outdo this creator, that creator, man. Just do your work, and I think that that's what helps us out a lot at Concrete. We really just talk to ourselves within the camp, and just we all love each other's projects. Like we really enjoy each other's work. So we're
Hmm.
we're like brothers in the company that really like talk and hang out and collaborate on pictures and joke about each other's characters. Like that's what we do. So we're like our own support system when it comes to creators accepting ourselves. So if somebody in my camp likes what I'm making or doesn't like what I'm making, I'm gonna trust what they're saying. And
Hmm.
it kind of gives you that shielding that you need to put something out into the world because it's scary to put out a project into the world and have people gauge it, you know, like literally have people gauge the way you write, the way you tell stories, and tell you what they like, what they don't like. It takes a thick-skinned person to be able to handle that. And I think me coming from music industry is what gives me the thick skin to not really care about stuff like that. But
Okay.
I can see how I can see how easily somebody could get tore down if they put out a book and it didn't get good reviews. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah.
No, I can see um, that. I can see the correlations between like the level of production that you put out, the correlations between the comics and the music industry. As whereas, in the music industry, you know, it's in your best interest to, constantly be putting out content that, there's not a lot of, it's not of a lot of time to sort of just sit on a project or sit on an album or sit on a song. You got to get it out there. And so I can definitely see how um, that influenced you guys in terms of being able to put out, several books in a short period of time because, you come from a different mind state into comics, compared to most people who come into comics as fans. And
Hmm.
right.
Yeah,
Thanks, Marcus. Reviews do not always equal sales,
that's
especially
very
now
true, man.
because everybody has an opinion now.
Yeah.
So, as long as you have fans, it's like, you can get all the bad reviews in the world. And as long as someone likes it,
Yeah.
um, and is willing to put up, money for it, there's always going to be a market. Speaking of which, we were talking about how fast the market is growing for like black indies in particular.
Hmm.
How do you how do you stand out? How do you find how do you get past all the noise that seems to be churning in all these Facebook groups? Um,
Um, to be honest, the simple terms just focus on the people that focus on you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really do much to stand out. I just be myself, and we promote as ourselves. Like every character you see coming out of Concrete, and the creator behind it, their personality is in that. So people are just going to naturally relate to what they can see themselves doing or writing or saying. So that's basically what we do, man. Just being ourselves. Like really not. I really don't focus on, let me put this picture out. I think a lot of people will like it. I put it out because I like it. You know what I'm saying? I
mhm,
I think it looked dope. so I just put it out and I hope people receive it the same way that I do. But if they don't, I'm gonna put out another one and another one. I'm not gonna stop because there's a lot of people out there that want our stuff. Like our on IG last year, this same time last year, we were at 2,000 followers. Now on
mhm,
IG, we're at 13,000. And that's
mhm,
just IG. That's no paid marketing, no paid anything. It's just let's just being ourselves, just doing lives and just talking and having building a relationship with every fan that likes our post or comments or buys our book. Like we create that personal relationship with our fans. So if this was the rap game, we would kind of have one of those, like Concrete almost has like a cult following of like it's like
mhm.
our own section of people that just rock with us. Kind of like Concrete has an aura that's more, it's less of a company but more like a movement. So I think that's why a lot of people like wearing our Concrete shirts and coming to our events with our shirts on. Is it's like you feel a part of Concrete when you represent us. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think that that's what helps us and what helps us stand out. So
Now, have y'all done cons and events of that nature yet?
I just did a book signing at Black Star Collectibles last month. That was
Okay.
that was really dope. Really dope. We did our first book sign we did was at Amalgam Comics in Philly.
Yeah.
Um, and we've done several cons. Um, we're all in different places. So me, I'm in the Philly, New Jersey area. Jamil's up
Okay.
here and Daniel's up here. Then Lyle is in Chicago, so he does stuff there. Anaji's in Atlanta, he does stuff there. Dave is in North Carolina. Jason's in California. So between all of us, you see Concrete
Mhm.
in all these various places. You know what I'm saying? So being like quote unquote the Wu Tang of comics, we get to be seen everywhere. So it kind of helps us out a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it was unintentional, but I don't think it's no mistake that um, you've been able to build an audience with all the creators, behind your company are pretty much in all the key areas or key communities as far as black comics are concerned.
Yeah,
Atlanta, the Jersey, Philly area. That's a huge deal. Jersey and Philly, Philly especially as far as black comics.
yeah, it is.
Chicago, it's like you basically are. Um, you have your feet your hands in pretty much every major black community in the states right now.
Yeah, I definitely didn't plan that at all, but I will say that every character you see in Concrete is like handpicked to be there. A lot of people submit characters and comics to us, but I'm looking to, I'm looking to build a certain lineup. Like every character represents a different representation of the universe, from the cosmic to the earth base to the spiritual base to a daredevil type to a alien from another dimension to people that time travel. So like every if you when you come to Concrete Comics as a fan and you don't know us, you can find something that you like, and
Hmm.
that and then and you pick up something and then you be like, yo, this is kind of dope. I wonder what this one is. I'm not really into the spiritual type, but I'm gonna try it because I like this book. And then they try it like, yo, that joint's kind of dope too. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of
Yeah.
helps just, spreading it out, man. I didn't want a whole bunch of the same. I wanted everybody to be unique. And plus that helps us stay out of each other's way. We're all holding down our own section. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I've been talking to Danny Quick and Morgan Iverson from Fourth Wall, and they're pretty much in the same boat as you guys. It feels like right there on the verge of you know about to have like a real breakout moment. You know what I mean? And I can see you guys. You're at this point where it's time to like scale your business. Like grow. Like you're talking about, you had about 13 some thousand followers on Instagram, and now you're looking at, okay, where does the next 13,000 come from?
Hmm.
Um, how do you plan on? What plans do you have to raise the bar, like so to speak? Like how
Well,
do you plan on getting that getting to that next level?
Well, I can't say much, but we got a couple emails sitting in the email inbox that could be life changing. So, some big things are definitely coming. We got a lot of blue checks on IG checking in with us. You know, I'll just say that. Um,
I like the way you said that. There's a lot of blue checks, a
whole
lot
lot
of
of blue checks
a lot of
checking in.
verified names.
Whole lot of verified names have been building personal relationships with us. So that that's a good sign of we're getting the right attention. I'm actually producing some work for some blue checks. Like a couple people have asked me to help them produce a comic. 'Cause that's really what we're getting into now. Is not just producing our own. We're actually helping other people produce theirs as well. So we're kind of turning this into like a whole 360 business, and that's just the route we're going. But it's way more than comics for us, because Concrete has a music label as well, Concrete Music. So,
Okay.
and then we're branching into animation as well and live action. So it's going to be a full scale production company, not just comics. So yeah, man.
So you're gonna be? Are you saying you're gonna be in a speedo, or are you?
I don't know, man. If I got to,
Never,
brother. If I got to, man. I mean,
gotta put
I'm
on the
I'm willing
cape,
to lay it on the line.
the tights and capes.
Hey, man. I'm willing to lay it on the line if I need to.
Yep, you might have to take one for the team, bro.
Hey, man, I'm cool with it.
All right, real quick, I just want to reset the room. You're watching Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics, exclusively here on The Experience. Please help us out by hitting share and giving us a like and follow. Then make sure to tune in for our original programming 7 days a week. Black Comics Universe streams every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on all DSPs. And again, I'm here with Lonzo Star of Concrete Comics,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the creator of the Acolyte.
That's him.
Yep,
That's him. That's my
that's
guy.
well, that's you, because definitely when I saw it, there was a couple pages when I saw it with what did you have locks at one time, or no?
Yeah, I had long locks. I
Oh,
might put
okay.
them back in. I still got my locks. When you cut your locks, you can keep the hair. So if you ever want to
Hmm.
reattach, you just reattach. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm thinking about putting them back in.
my wife is a loctician, and she
Oh yeah.
has yeah, and she recently cut her locks, and yeah, there's a bag at the house with all
Yeah,
her
I got
locks in
my
it.
bag, man. I got my bag right next to the nightstand, man, in case I gotta superhero out real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a friend too that it seems like he takes his out and puts them back in every like 2 to 3 months.
Oh yeah.
That's ridiculous. No, but no, I like your plan as far as leveling up, and yeah, them blue checks are coming, man. Do
Blue
you feel
checks are
it's like
coming.
um it almost feels bittersweet though? It's like sometimes I worry like, are we losing something when we get to the point where like we signing these these deals, these major deals with the bigger names, or is this like a natural evolution for an independent company?
Well, I think it's based upon what your plan is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if your plan is just to move, like if this was all I was worried about, then the deals I'm looking for would be different. You know what I'm saying? I'd be looking
Right.
for those single deals, but I, I'm I'm looking to build concrete as literally like a Marvel or DC. That's what I want it to be.
Mhm.
I don't want to attach it to anything. I want us to be standalone. I want it to be a hub where black creators are the majority. You know what I'm saying? People of color are the
Mhm.
majority, and this is like I want the new normal. I want to be like it normal for you to see a majority 99% black and people of color characters
Right.
in a universe that's never been seen before, and that's what we have right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of really what we're hunting for. So as far as us signing a deal that will quote unquote be like selling out, that's not what we're going for. But then the term selling out is kind of weird because what really is it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like selling out would be like if we were an all black company and then we sold to like an all white company and just let them take over everything. That would be selling out to me.
I
But
mean, there's companies that do that.
yeah, and to me that's suspect. But if I was if we still owned all our characters and we did a deal with like a a white owned production company that wanted to turn it into a live action or something like that, that's not selling out. That's just
Mhm.
building on the opportunity and like you said, leveling up something we
Right.
can't
Right.
do ourselves. So
Right.
you know what I mean?
I've I've been I've studied this for a long time, and I've been trying. What's so interesting is that you're like me. It's like we belong to a lot of black comic book groups,
Yeah,
and a ton of those groups have like 15, some thousand people. Another group has three, five. It's like so in the virtual world,
hmm,
I've noticed that like there's a huge community as far as when it comes to black comics, right?
yeah,
And what's so interesting is that if you were based the impact of black comics just on those numbers alone, you will be extremely disappointed when you step into like an elementary school, and hundreds of thousands of kids in this school, and none of them know who
exactly,
what anything
exactly.
is going on. It's like and it's such a humbling experience when when you look at the reality of just how large the market is.
Yeah,
And as much as I would think that a lot of us as far as indies might want to remain independent, if we want to meet the demand that's out here, um, we have to make deals with major publishing companies or major production companies to um, meet the demand. At least that's what I'm noticing. You know, now these
yeah,
could be black companies as well. When you think of Lion Forge Oni, that's a black owned company, um, huge production company, animation and comics, and so it's just that's what it takes to really break, yeah, to make that leap into the mainstream, just like music. You know what I mean? It's sort
just
of
like
like
music, man. It's not all
um,
about what you can do. It's who you
right.
know. A lot of the times, it's literally who you know. Who you know is going to dictate where you can go. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
shake hands with people, man, and just be a good guy. Like don't be out here trying to snake people or talking down on people. Just be a good person because you never know who that person is that you may be talking to. Like somebody may not know who you personally are, bro, but they
Mhm.
may be wanting to publish a comic book, and then they say, "Hey, Peep Game Comics, let me get on here and try to." submit my
Right.
comic, and not knowing they just cursed you out on a Facebook group, last week. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that can happen. So just really, some people got to humble themselves out here, man. Just like at the end of the day, we're making comics. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be so much beef out here, man. I see a lot of beef in these comic streets, and I don't understand it because it's not.
In
I
the
mean, it's
comic
not real
streets,
beef. It's not real
it's
beef, man.
it gets
You know?
intense. I just walked in. It wasn't my beef, but I walked into some beef today. I commented on somebody's post, and I mean, it had to do with like Kickstarter fulfillments and stuff like that, which I can imagine can be pretty emotional for folks. But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Not to say that like, somebody should let it go, but I've
yeah,
noticed I've seen the good and bad of it. Like I've literally seen a creator get, I've seen their creators' business get put out on social media,
yeah,
and people go after this person, and then I've actually seen the same community support that person, and
yeah,
because if they were left to that moment, they might not want to have anything else to do with comics ever again. But I've seen um,
yeah.
the community actually lift this person up. I'm talking, and I would say plainly, I'm talking about Dorfis. Um,
Ah, okay.
you know, she she had it bad for a minute. Like people were coming at her
Oh
with
yeah,
beef, but then the
that's
community
crazy.
came back and they supported her. And so I saw both ends of that. And
That's crazy.
so I can see how it's like this. And at the same time, you hate to see it, and you would think it's like, okay, it's so weird. Like you think it's like, oh, this is just what happens in hip hop music.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And I can imagine that could be a culture shock. You coming into comics and you're just thinking, oh, this is just comic books. And
Well,
you looking up.
yeah, seeing it was, it kind of felt like I was, at home again. I was, oh, okay. I see people in here beefing. I see diss tracks getting dropped and stuff, and
Right?
people getting dissed on comic covers and stuff and stuff like that. So,
Wow.
but no, for those reasons, what I mean, I just stay out the way, man. I rarely voice my opinions.
Mm.
I speak when spoken to, and I just stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? I stay out the way because your opinion's not going to be the same as somebody else's, and
Yeah.
everybody can disagree, but it's how you disagree is what makes it respectful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. What is an opinion that what basically could get you uh in trouble in a group? Like, what's an opinion that you have as far as business that people would like ready to run you out of town?
Well, the one thing I purposely troll on is Batman all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I purposely make it a point to troll people that love Batman. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I mean, it's all fun and games. I've never really had nobody, try to approach me nothing like that. I don't think that'd be a smart idea either. But but I you know I've opinions. Well, the one I saw a lot of people getting into was the whole political thing and the agendas that people want to put into everything. Like for instance, if they see one one gay character, people lose their mind and start wilding. Oh my God, they're doing this for appropriation, whatever. Nah, man, just create, bro. If you want to make a gay character, make a gay character. Like it's fine.
Mhm.
If some people want that. So, and if you want to make a hero black or white, whatever, just do what you do,
Mhm.
man. Don't care about what people say. When you start caring about what people are thinking about something you created from your imagination, you've already
Mhm.
lost. I made this up. This is a made up thing. If somebody
Mhm.
can rile me up about this, then what I mean, I don't need to be doing this at all.
It's something to that. Um, so it has so many similarities to religion, and you know what I mean. It's sort of like as far as yes, it's called the Acolyte, right? With the
Yeah, the
cross.
acolyte.
Yeah. It's like and I think that's where like I think that's the reason why so many people get caught up in some of these, debates and stuff like that, because you know when you coming at Batman, you coming at their Jesus. You
Exactly,
know,
dog. And I love doing it. I love it.
what is it about Batman that gets you so
I like
upset?
Batman. I hate the
Bat.
ridiculousness that people put behind him. Like,
Uh,
of course, yes, he beat Superman and those guys, but he didn't go to Superman and was like, yo, I'm trying to box, man. Like, what I
right.
mean, what's up? He did things meticulously, which is beating him, yes, but let's be realistically about this. If Superman wanted to just stand on top of a roof and just laser beam Bruce Wayne while he was drinking a cappuccino, he could do that
Hmm.
easily. If Wonder Woman woke up and said, "Yo, I'm gonna just slap this boy, man," when I see him, if she wanted to do that, she would do it. If Flash woke up with just the idea, like, "Yo, I'm just gonna punch him as fast as I can," as soon as I
Right.
see him, he'd be done. It's nothing he can do. He can't swing on Wonder Woman and think that's gonna do something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I've seen people saying Batman could sneak up on Wolverine. Like, this is ridiculous. Wolverine be smelling people from like 2 miles away. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally be
Right.
smelling people from 2 miles away and tracking them down. He can hear them sounds. Like, let's be honest here. Batman is cool. Let's just let him be cool. Let him fight, the Jokers and the Riddlers and stuff like that. Like, don't say he can outwit the spider sense and stuff like that. Like, that really gets under me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people ready to fight about Batman and Superman, or the Batman versus Superman and all that kind of stuff.
They're out of
I,
pocket,
s-
bro.
I stay out of all that stuff. No, but we were talking about how you plan on leveling up. Is there anything about the industry that sort of like you feel like needs to be changed, or you have like if you had the opportunity, like say you had $1 million, like what would you do in this industry that would sort of like shake it up or break it?
Shit, if I had $1 million, you said,
Hmm.
man, $1 million. $1 million isn't a lot, but it's a lot at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, I think with $1 million, I would really try to form like my own animation production company and be a hub for us. That's what we need out here. I know there's a lot of animation companies out here, but they're very hard to work with, man. Unless you're talking big money and big plans and got your whole thing mapped out, doing animation is more. Making a comic book is a gamble because that's a lot of money you put in that. But putting in an animation that doesn't succeed, and you're looking at putting down like a mortgage right there, like putting down a
Hmm.
house payment to make an animation. So that's something that we definitely need. But yeah, $1 million, I would be looking to really create hubs, create places where young kids that never knew they could have a business, like have a job doing comics, could learn how to make comics at a young age. If I knew that, that's
Hmm.
something I would have done when I was younger. So I would do a lot more in the community, most definitely. Like, just finding kids like me. Like, there's nothing like being at a con and a little kid come up to your table and his eyes are just like, yo, they look like me. Like, that's
Hmm.
dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're looking at Acolyte like they look at Superman now. They're like, yo, my goal with Acolyte is I want them kids that are at a lunch table arguing about who their favorite superhero is and can this dude beat this guy. I want Acolyte to be that for young black kids that are like, man, Superman ain't got nothing on Acolyte. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got nothing on Absolver. She ain't got nothing on
Hmm.
Odina. I mean, I want our heroes to be lunch table conversation. You know what I mean?
No, like that's that's definitely always been a dream of mine, and I know the distance between that and I know it's a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to get there, but I'm willing. But I'm sure as I'm sure you are too. It's like I'm willing to um to put in the work to get there. But it's so funny. Like my first experience, my one of my first it might have been my first black comic book convention. It was in Atlanta. I was at the Onyx Con,
Mm-hmm.
and I had this table set up. I was right next to the entrance, which um which is a rookie move. I never want to be next to the
Right.
entrance again ever.
Oh, yeah, man. Everybody just walking right past you, right? Boom, boom, boom,
Dog,
boom.
it was like first the dad and his son was at the table, and the dad was encouraging him, go ahead, ask him what you want. Ask, go ahead. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be good, and I'm ready to
Yeah,
pitch and all this kind of stuff. The little man said, "Do you guys have Miles Morales?" And I was like,
it is.
"No, I do not have Miles Morales." But it's like it was cool. I get it. I like the fact that okay, yeah, black character, but it's like, dang, it's
Yeah,
like it's when you're talking about an uphill battle, man. But at the same time, I did a show in Columbus one time, and almost like the exact same scenario. A little kid walked up to the table, and he was like, "Oh, they got." He was excited. He said, "What was it? Oh, they got Hot Shot." Like he knew Hot Shot.
yeah,
So it was like I've been at both extremes where it's sort of like you got so I know it's possible, but when you're talking about the type, basically you got to know that your work is cut out for you, as far as like especially reaching out to kids, or even my son, for instance. He doesn't read a ton of comic books, but I remember one time, this is when he was like 18. He was like, "Oh yeah, Dad, I saw this. You hip to this Trill Robin dude? It's like from Trill League." And I was like, "Oh yeah, man." It's like he didn't realize I was doing work with the guy. I was selling his book and stuff like that. But just the fact that eventually, like these names, these characters, do reach the mainstream and reach popular culture.
yeah.
It's definitely possible, but it's definitely it's a matter of putting in a ton of work, man.
Oh yeah, man. I think mainly it just comes down to marketing. You know what I mean? Like just getting some commercials, some billboards, getting on paying your algorithms like crazy. Like that's what Black Sands has mastered. They're masters of marketing, and that's why they're so big that they are. It's not just the content. It's the fact that everywhere you turn, you see them online because they have ads everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
you just being seen, and if your material looks dope, you're gonna get that attention. Just being at a con, like how you were saying, you know, Michael Watson is always at cons, and he makes it. He
Mm-hmm.
does his thing at them cons, so people gonna remember him. Our first con we ever did, we didn't even have books yet. We had posters. I was so
Okay.
nervous, bro, because our table was next to TJ Sterling and
Oh wow.
Constant Hustle. So I'm looking at TJ. This man, his setup was crazy, man. He had books on books, posters. He had the clean baldy and everything. I said, damn, what we gonna do here, right? So but our posters looked so dope. People were coming. They're like, yo, I don't know what y'all got here, but I want this on my wall. And we sold out of posters. Like our posters were kind of big. So them things were like 15, like about $10 posters, whatever. And then we had our concrete shirts. So everybody at our table, we all had concrete shirts. So when they walk into the con, they see just nothing but concrete over in this section. They're like, what the hell is that? So they walk over and they're like, hold on, man. These dudes kind of lit. You know what I'm saying? These dudes are kind of lit, bro.
No, no, no. That's a
Hold on a second, real
great.
quick, bro. Real
Oh yeah.
quick.
Again, you're tuning into the Black Comics universe. About to be closing out here in a minute here.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry
Yeah.
about that, man. I had the door
I don't know
locked
if I.
over there.
Oh no, no problem.
But
No, but
yeah, man. As I was saying, man, all we had was posters, and the fact that people supported them was a very, it was a humbling experience, and it was a very motivating experience because we were nervous. Like I'm telling you, I googled like before that day, I didn't know who TJ Sterling was, and then on the side of him, Moana was on the other side of him. I was like, God damn. And then I had
where is this at?
this was at Black Label Con in Philadelphia. So
Oh,
on the
okay.
wall we were at, it was I don't know if you know who Chris Williams is. He has C Dub Comics, C
Mhm.
Dub Arts, I believe. And then um the guy that makes the comic dreadlocks, he was there. We were in between all of them, and we were rookies.
Okay.
We had nothing, no books, so we sitting next to all these dudes that's cut from the cloth, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that was intimidating, but I think preparation is what made us succeed at that time. Just being prepared and being unapologetic. You know what I'm saying?
No, and also what you learned is, which I've learned as far as cons go, it's like a lot of times people that come to conventions and events like that, they're looking for something. They want to be a part of the experience.
Yeah.
So even if it's just a poster or a T-shirt or something like that, as
Hmm.
long as it's as long as they can take something home as for to share that they were part of this moment, this event, this experience, you actually can be very successful even if without books, like especially with T-shirts or any type of uh, paraphernalia that sort of commemorates the moment.
Yeah.
So posters and T-shirts, it's like, so ironically, you might not have books, but you actually had the right product for that moment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it was dope. You know what I mean, I didn't go there with no expectations either. So, you know what I'm saying, I rarely have expectations when I do things because I know what it feels like to be let down. So I just go like soon as the events happen, I'm like, yo, let's just have fun, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Let's just have
Hmm.
fun,
Hmm.
just do our thing, and just be ourselves. So yeah, man, that definitely helps.
And we're running almost out of time, but real quick, this like maybe the final question. It's like, so we call ourselves indies now. It's like, what do you think? What do you see like the future? Um, not just for the yourself, but for the community as a whole. Like, where do you see this all headed in, say, like the
Um,
next 5 years, the next 10 years?
the next 5 and 10 years of indie comics, man, I see a lot of film adaptation, a lot of animation, and hopefully, man, hopefully a lot of people stick with it because those first that first issue is the hardest one, to be honest with you. No, actually the second issue is the hardest one
Mm,
because if your first issue is good, people come back. That second one, they're looking to keep leveling up. So if that one falls flat, you could lose them at that point. But the first one is usually the easiest one to get off. But the
right.
second one is the seller, which means people are going to keep coming around. And after you get through that second one, that third one and fourth one, it kind of just breezes through. So, I mean, for any creators that are listening, just really, you know, at least try to get to like 5 issues and see what you
Yeah.
got going on there. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
and work with some editors too. Like, don't be afraid to get an editor, man. Like that was what saved me is that I've heard people that don't use editors, and I was like, nah, man, I believe in myself, but I want to have the best product I can. So
Hmm.
I want to work with the best. You know what I'm saying? So I work with some dope artists, some dope letterers. I learned how to letter myself, and then
Okay.
that process now creating a comic book is easy as breathing now.
Now, what is just for like people that trying to get into comics and stuff like that? What does an editor bring to the product? Aside from copy editing, I don't think we're talking about copy editing, per se, but
Yeah, well, even a copy editor, even somebody that's just coming to spot edit, you don't want punctuations in your book and all kind of
mhm,
stuff incorrect, like incorrect periods and commas in the wrong place. So that's for one. That can turn a reader off because some people can't not focus on the mistakes of the sentences. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm, mhm.
but a good overall editor is really gonna help you bring out the story you really want to tell. Like you may
Mhm.
read it and be like, "Yo, this is the greatest thing ever." Then the editor be like, "Yeah, but how did they get here to there? And why did this person say
Right,
that? And who is this
right,
guy? Like, did you introduce
yeah,
him? And this, that." So you need them editors to read it because for you read it and they're like, "Yo, this is lit. This is dope.
hmm,
I know everything that's going on, and people are gonna read it just like me." But
hmm,
we know all the gaps within a story. We know how they got there into their here. So we're
right,
just writing it. But the
mm,
reader doesn't know our brains, so they could be left out if you don't do it right. So having an editor to really look over your stuff is dope. And having some trusted other creators or fans of comics, have them do a preview of your book before you put it out, man. Just treat it just like you drop in a music album. Have a listening session, right?
mm,
Invite some
hmm,
people over, have a listening session in the studio, let them rate the songs. They were like, man, that's hot, that's trash, hot, hot, hot. And put everything that's hot in the book. You know what I'm saying? Put
hmm,
everything
hmm.
hot in there. And then you just go like that.
No, it's like I second that as far as having an editor. It's like I see a lot of books um, and I wish I was there to edit it, to help them edit it, because I've seen a book. I'm just looking at a book recently, and I got through the whole book, and I noticed that they didn't mention the character's name. It's just like little stuff like that, but you would never think, you just but I could sense the sense of urgency in the person writing that book. They wanted to make sure that everything that all these key moments were in the book and all this kind of stuff. But something as simple as another character mentioning this character's name to sort of put things into context. It's like you wouldn't think to look for something like that, but a good editor or someone who's making sure that book is ready for publication, could definitely help you out in that regard.
Yeah, man, that's a fact, man. So shout out to them editors. Found you guys some dope editors to work with, and vet the editors too, man. Found out what work they've done. Don't just hire anybody that says they're an editor. Actually ask them, well, what have you worked on? What type of titles do you have, like specific genres that you're good at? You know what I mean? Because it may not even be your genre. Like he may be like a fantasy guru, but you're writing like a horror thriller, and
right.
he's trying to write you to write like Lord of the Rings or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
so yeah,
we're almost out of time. Where can we find all your books along with Peep Game Comics? Concrete Comics is available on Peep Game Comics.
Concrete Comics is definitely available on there. Peep Game Comics is definitely one of them.
Yep. And then you also have your website,
concretecomics.com. That's KONKRET comics.com. You can get everything there. You can get it on our Facebook Concrete Comics page as well. The store is up there. Store is on IG, and we'll be at a lot of cons. I'll be posting that link for the cons real soon. You can get it if you're in Philly. You can get us at Amalgam Comics. If you're in California, you can get us at Black Star Collectibles. If you're in Alabama, you can get us at I believe LaShawn Store's Comics and Beverages, I believe. I can't remember the title. Please excuse me on that one, LaShawn, but I'll definitely write that. But we are in a few comic stores throughout the country as well. And be on the lookout for some of these new titles that we got coming from Zoriel. We got Sister Circle coming. We just dropped the 0 issue of Kendaki for free on the website, so y'all can read that. So yeah, we working out here, man.
All right, I like that, man. And for Lonzo Star of Concrete Comics, I am Imani Latif, creator of Peep Game Comics and the host of Black Comics Universe. And we are out of here, I believe. Where's my producer?